All right, welcome back to Urban Grind Radio. It's your boy Wally, aka Mr. Music is My Business, in the building. We rocking with Urban Grind Radio. I got my beautiful co-host to the left of me.
Oh yes, what's up, y'all? It's Treasur Nicole, your favorite Scorpio. Scorpio season is coming up, and we got somebody that's taking over all the seasons apparently because he got these millions of followers. I don't know. Tell us what's your name?
Brandon Reed.
My name is Brandon. I go by the Cartoon Connect on the internet.
Cartoon Connect.
No, Brandon, let's do it right now. I want to put some respect on it, man. This man is over 300 million views plus on YouTube, over 3 million followers on the social media. He's right here out the Midwest.
Crazy.
He is a
South Bend.
South Bend. The man's an influencer and a content creator, Mr. Brandon Reed.
Hey, thank you for the intro. I appreciate it.
Right.
It's wonderful. I really believe they gotta put. We're gonna put that in post. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You know, I just really feel like people got to put some respect on your name sometimes, man. You're an innovator, self-made man. I've read a lot of your stories and some articles and stuff, man. But just for the people that don't know, man, how did you come to be who you are today?
It all started a couple of years back. I had just went through a divorce, and me and my kids, I had ended up going through the process to get primary custody of my kids, moved to an apartment, and we just down bad. I'm like trying to figure out what's next, what I'm going to do next. And I got these two kids looking at me. I'm like, I got to figure something out. So then I got on YouTube and just started looking up how to animate because I always was in a drawing, animation. And when I was in college, they kind of gave us an animation course, but we didn't really do too much. So I was like, I got on YouTube how to animate. Spent like a year trying to figure out how to do it, learn how to do it. And then I would say 2016, I put out a video one day called Lil Round Round. I collaborated with a guy from Mobile, Alabama. And overnight, 2 million views. And then from that point on, I was like, I got something here. So we just, kept doing that every single week. And once it got to the point where I grew the YouTube following, grew the following on all the platforms, I'm like, now I can do other stuff. So, I'm saying different cartoon series, different content creation, all types of stuff. Like from music to animation to movies to series to, we even got a puppet show now. Like it's just trying to take over the internet in every aspect.
And it's crazy that you talk about like the animation. So it's like with that, like what's your favorite animations? Because I know to even learn that stuff, you have to look back on.
Yeah.
Because I know when I think about animations, I'm thinking about Ed, Ed, and Eddie, like bad stuff. It was just with the kids were just extremely bad. Rugrats, all of that.
And them was all my favorite shows. Ed, Ed, and Eddie, The Proud Family, The Simpsons, like just watching animation in general. That's what I used to do. Like come home from school, watch TV shows, cartoons all day long. So once I got that chance to be like, okay, I can get on the internet and just do, what I like to watch, it was like I had everything, at that point that I could do. So once I started trying to do it and I made that following, it was like in my mind, I was like, okay, I can be, that company that creates the Ed and Eddies and the Proud Families and all of that. I figured out I could do that from home. So I just started trying to do it.
Now, I want to back it up for a second. Read some of your bio. You have an associate's degree in graphic design, right? So you had some background. You went to school, associates, and through your education is where you picked up an animation class?
Yeah. So when I did the graphic design, they taught us just really like Photoshop stuff and editing and stuff like that. But at one point we had one animation class, but it was so quick that I really didn't get to learn animation. I just learned that you can make stuff move, you can animate. So then the class was over, and then afterwards I was like, man, I wish I knew more about it. So then that's what led me to go, to YouTube and try to figure it out. But what's crazy about it is a couple years ago, it all came full circle because YouTube reached out to me to do a documentary about YouTube University, where it's just to promote that you can go on YouTube and learn, anything that you could think of.
Right. Wow. And then I'm thinking about like when you say you reached 2 million views on your first video, it's like, is there a formula to that? Because everybody on the internet wants that to wake up overnight and to just be viral. So to people that are like, man, is there a formula? Is there a trick? Do you know something about the algorithm that nobody else knows? Like what is that secret thing?
With the first video, I don't think there was like a specific formula. I think it was just because we came out with something that was unique. It was relatable. It was real relatable because the first episode of Lil Round Round was about a kid in between a separation of his parents. And at the time, I was kind of going through, that with, trying to get enough custody of the kids so that I can be there for them every single day and stuff like that. So, you know, it's something that people can relate to. When you put out something that people can relate to, it's automatically, you know, going to gain traction. Because if I put out a video about something, a routine that I do every morning, if you do the same thing, you're going to be like, I feel this, you know, and you're going to share it. So I think that's what really did it for the first video. But then I started to learn what people like to see, what types of videos to create to get people's attention and stuff like that. I really just try to become that mastermind who knows, you know, what to put out there or how to get people's attention.
I'm glad you kind of touched on it, because that was one of my questions. You said, "Hey, I went through a divorce. I was a single dad," and tell me if I'm right. I've studied a lot of great people, but I always know that there's a pivotal moment in people's life, and this is my life personally as well, where you got to go all the way down to get up. Yeah,
man. When I got to that point, it was after the divorce. I was trying to do everything, trying to figure out what to do with the kids, and my son ended up. He had like strep throat or something like that, and he got me sick. And once I got sick, since I didn't have any tonsils, I had to go to the hospital because I wasn't supposed to get strep throat once they took my tonsils out. So I got so sick that it created like an abscess in my throat, and I had to get 3 surgeries. So just imagine, freshly becoming, you know, off of the separation, now you get put in the hospital for 3 weeks when the kids is like primarily, you know, with you for the most part. Now I got to try to figure out how to get, you know, I said help with that while being in the hospital getting 3 surgeries. I ended up going on a ventilator after the 3rd surgery for a week, so I couldn't talk. I couldn't do nothing but sit there. I had to write notes and tell people what I wanted. I couldn't see my kids because I didn't want them to see me like that. So that was my point when I was like, I'm down. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in this situation. I would say my first viral video came 2 weeks after I got out of that hospital, because something in my head just told me like, yo, I don't want to sit here and work in this office for the rest of my life as I was sitting there, because I couldn't talk. So I'm like, I'm just thinking. So then once I got out, I was like, I'm gonna start animating, and I started looking it up, and then stuff just started going from there.
I think that was one of those pivotal moments. Like, I think when you're really in the rain and it's really storming, you kind of forget about the sunshine.
Yeah.
And you feel like it's gonna rain forever. Like that. I know. I'm just speaking like my experience, and it feels like when it can't get no worse, that's when it happens. That's your moment. I think that's the test. That's the gut check for a lot of people. It pushes
you. I feel like when you're at a moment where you feel like there's nothing left, like kind of what you were saying. It's like, where else can I go but up, you know?
It was like I was down so bad that I was like, hey, I can't get no lower than this, so now I got to figure something
So what do you got to lose? That's what I say.
Yeah.
Like, if I literally went through the same thing. I felt like I lost everything, and then at that point, what did I have to lose? Nothing.
Yeah.
So I got nothing to lose. Like, what? I think that's a pivotal moment. I think people are going to walk away with a lot of stuff. Everybody wants to know how to get the YouTube up and the views and stuff. But I think, to me, the message so far in this conversation is that if you would have quit at that moment, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. Yeah. You might be in that office or driving home from the job. So I say that to say this. I think a lot of people, when it gets bad, and it gets bad, life gets rough. When you hit that moment, I think that's the time where you got to like remember that if you want to say God, the universe, your ancestors, whatever, they're going to shake you up a little bit.
Yeah.
They're going to make you uncomfortable. They're going to like just tear it all down, because that's how you rebuild.
Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy because going through that nowadays, when something, you know what I'm saying, bad happens, or like something with my career doesn't go the way I wanted to, I just sit back and think like, man, at one point in time, I was sitting in that apartment broke with 2 kids trying to figure out what to do. It can't get no worse than that. So if I don't get up and just push past whatever, you know what I'm saying, is going wrong now, it's like I have to, you know what I'm saying, get past it, because I got past at the lowest point. I can get past it at this point now because I'm not at the lowest no more.
Came too far to quit.
Yeah, it came way. One of my favorite rappers, Big Sean, he said, "I'm too deep in the game to go sit," or I feel like it was along the lines of way too deep in the game to go sit back in the crowd. And I was like, yeah, that makes way too much sense.
That's it.
Yeah.
So now you've got, how many different shows you got right now on YouTube?
Man, so many. I do a lot of parodies. So I got the parodies. I got Lil Ron Ron. The new series Cottonmouth is going crazy. I'm working on an animated movie, fully animated by me. A couple other animators on the roster, but so much, you know, is going into this movie to have like a full feature independent film. It's crazy. so many different animated series, comic book series. I'm at the point where I want to be like a Walt Disney, a Stan Lee, all of the great animators and creatives just combined in one.
Right.
And then, like, I wonder with your new show, you said Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
So, people, that gets people's attention right there, just off the title. So, what is that about, and how did you come up with that?
So, a group of me and my buddies, we were already working together, working on music and stuff. And I'm such a creative that when I see something, I can see what it could be.
The potential.
I was at the store and I seen puppets just at the store, and I texted the group like, "Hey, what y'all think we could do with this?" They was like, "Get them, let's go crazy." So then we all got together, and then you see puppet shows like on TV and stuff, but we like remade the puppets to look like more urban, or to just look, how we want them to look, but they look crazy though at the same time. So what we do is we react to videos, we do skits and stuff like that, and from the moment we started doing it, people loved it.
Yeah. Wow. So you got Cottonmouth, and then you said Lil Ron Ron.
Yes, well. Lil Ron Ron. We just started season 10. We started in 2016.
10 seasons. It's some shows on TV that don't even, like on like those different networks that don't even last since they say if you go past 7 seasons, you stamp.
It's a blessing just knowing that all of this came off of one viral video.
Yeah.
And to put out the first episode of season 10, and in 2 days we did 100,000 views, which for some people that's small, but to have 10 seasons of people coming back to watch it, and me being able to leave my house today and people stop me at Walmart and say, "Hey, I love Lil Ron Ron, man." It's like, man, that's 10 seasons. Like, it's a blessing to be able to still do it.
That's incredible. So I really want to talk about like some of the process, because I've talked to some animators. I've got quotes for clients. They're like, "Oh, I want an animated video." I'm like, "Well, you better hurry up and wait." Yeah. Because it takes time, and it's not cheap. So why don't you tell people, for people that don't know, if they're sitting at home, they're like, "Yo, I want Brandon to put me a music video together. I want one of those movies, man." Wait, tell me what the process is like to actually make, let's say, 3 minutes of content for an animation.
The craziest part about me, it kind of goes the reason why I call myself the Cartoon Connect is I would like to say I'm one of the fastest animators on the internet, because with 2D animation it takes a while. I've been able to find a program where I'm able to animate and do it way faster than a lot of these companies and stuff like that, where I use kind of like a puppeteering method, but I could do 2D animation at the same time, mix with that, and still be able to animate it so fast. Lately I've been working with different record labels. I just did a music video for I did a bunch of music video art for Young Dolph and Key Glock's new album. I just did R.I.P. DMX. I just did a animated music video for him right before he passed away. And I think a lot of them come to me because they see like my turnaround time on doing these animations. So I use a program called Anime Studio, and it's very easy to learn, very fast to be able to turn around stuff. So in 2-minute video, if I just sat down and knocked it out, I could probably do that in like 8 hours.
Or a regular person with a different program, you're talking
like weeks.
Right. No,
exactly.
I talked to the guy was telling me, he's like, I told him I wanted a 3-minute video. He was like, about 3 months, but I can't start until like 2 months. I was like, what? Yeah, and he didn't care like how much money we offered him. Nothing. He's like, bro, that's what it takes.
Yeah. And I'm like so going get it at the point where I'm like, man, I'm ready to work. So like a company came to me, I think it was Epic Records came to me and wanted a music video done in 2 weeks. And depending on how many scenes, it could take longer. So like a 2-minute video with 15 different scenes, of course that might take me long. It ain't gonna take me 8 hours to do that. But,
right.
And I think it was like a week and a half maybe he needed me to do it. So I sat down, started knocking it out. We got the music video done. It was for an artist named Cash Kid from Detroit. And that video did 1 million views off of the release. But I was just glad, that these different companies would come to me to get these videos done, because they know if the price is right, I'm gonna sit down, we're gonna knock it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, it's so crazy how you say you did stuff on
Young Dolph
and Key Glock's new album, and people hear that and they're like, okay, yeah, like I wanna work with this guy. But even without all of that, I feel like just the knowledge that you're giving, just a lot of people ain't gonna come in here and say, oh yeah, I use I use this program or
Yeah,
whatever.
people
like,
don't wanna-
people don't even want to give away their recipe. So that shows something in you. Like I'm great. You great with or without it. So
yeah, even with like I just learned with the pandemic. The pandemic showed me that animation is dope, but if you can figure out everything that goes into content creation, you don't have to just rely on one thing. You know, so I love doing the animation. That's my passion. But now I done got behind the camera, directing, doing the music that goes with the stuff. Like I want to get into doing everything, so that if it's ever a project where somebody need every part of the project done, I know how to do every single part of that project, and I can come with the animation. And it's not too many companies that'll be able to do that.
Absolutely.
so much to offer. Like just not even just with artists and stuff, but like you say, just for like the things that you create. So like, do you like it better? I know you just said you fall in love with being behind the camera, but as far as like if you were to do like some artistry or really do like some like stuff like Young Dolph and Key Glocks, like which part do you think you'll love more?
I kind of enjoy the whole process. I just love seeing that final product. Like the Young Dolph and Key Glock project took so long. It was supposed to be like a short project, but they wanted. This is another one of those situations where they wanted 40 animated videos, like short animated videos for like YouTube. So like when they post it, say he's sitting down, he has money in his hand, it could be money falling. They needed 40 of them in less than 2 weeks. So I'm like, man.
So you know what that means? The bag was nice.
Yeah,
the bag was nice.
It was heavy.
As soon as they let me know, I'm like, okay, if I don't get this done, it's like they just gonna look at me like, what? But if I do get it done, it's gonna open up more opportunities because they gonna want to come back. They gonna send other people back. So man, I sat down and I knocked it out. But I'll be ready to work, man.
So now you got partnerships with Facebook, partnerships with YouTube. You're working with major record labels. You know, they say new levels, new devils, man. What's the next challenge at the level you're at right now?
I think right now it's getting outside of just the social media realm. Like I've been, I've been on like commercials and stuff like that, but I want to make it to where I don't have to rely on social media to do my job or to get my connections. I want people to be able to see, my company on TV or to see my company on Netflix, Hulu, on these bigger platforms that are bigger than me at the moment. But eventually, I want to be one of those big platforms and have Cartoon Connect be the next, Netflix, Hulu, all of that. But I feel like the next thing is just getting past that social media spot. Because once you can get past that and you don't have to rely on the social media, you can work without it. Then I feel like you put that in rotation with it and everything just get way bigger.
What was that moment where you felt when you were like, oh man, this is it? Like, this is what I'm going to do to, like, if not the rest of my life, but for the near future. When did you know, like, what video was it? What numbers did you hit where you're like, you know what? I'm going to tear that resume up.
It was kind of early. I think it was right after. I was still working at my graphic design job when I hit 100,000 subscribers. So I'm sitting in my office and I got the counter up there because, you can watch your subscribers. Right. So I'm watching it while I'm supposed to be doing my work. My boss, it happened to be one of those days when my boss comes in and he's like, hey, did you get this done? And, I've been animating because I'm trying to get my videos done. So I didn't get it done. So I'm like, oh, no, I'm working on it. He get mad, which I get it. I should have been doing my work.
That's all right.
I'm sitting there, and then that day, right before the end, I was getting ready to clock out, 100,000 subscribers hit. And I was like, this is crazy because and it happened in like 6 months. So like just 6 months ago, I was at this job struggling, to get by. Now I'm making money from YouTube, 100,000 subscribers. It's just like, man, I sat there. I was supposed to clock out at 5. I probably sat there till like 5:15 just crying because, like, you never know, like, stuff like this could happen. You think you see it on TV, but you're like, could this happen to me? You know what I'm saying? So then when it did happen, I just was like, man, this is crazy. But from that point on, I was like, I got to do this.
Did you quit?
I quit probably the next couple months.
Oh, you stood for a few more months? Is it?
Okay.
Were you just like, because you're like, hey, I got family, I got kids, I want to be sure?
I was nervous to take that leap.
To take the chance.
It was at the point where I had made enough to not work at all. I had money saved up, but I was sitting there like, man, if I quit this job, none of these checks is guaranteed no more. Because YouTube and Facebook, you get a check every month or wherever the case may be, but at the end of the day, honestly, if your page get taken down, your check
you're done.
Down,
you cook.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my fear. I was like, man, what if, it don't work? And then I realized that it's me that's making it work. It's not really the social media platforms. If I could build this like following on these platforms, I could build it anywhere because I got that, you know what I'm saying, creativeness for people to see what I got and be like, yo, this is fire. You know what I'm saying? So once I learned that, I kind of realized how to maneuver through all of these different things, make, you know what I'm saying, ways to support myself through other avenues.
And then I wonder, like, with everybody that's watching this, what's your personal, like, what's your Instagram and everything and where they can follow you? Because on your Instagram, are you, like, giving out these gems that you giving us, or this is just some exclusive stuff you giving Urban Grind? Like,
it's kind of exclusive.
Yeah.
I don't mind giving out, you know what I'm saying, the steps that it took me to get there, because honestly, I would hope, I was, like, back when I was just getting started, I wish it was more people doing that. Like, I tell people every day, like, yo, the program I use, Anime Studio, get hip to it, figure it out. If you can master it, you know what I'm saying? It's going to take you some time, but if you can master it, man, put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook, make cartoons, do, you know what I'm saying? Because, man, being at the bottom, when you at the bottom and you just sitting there, you like, man, I wish I had a way out. And there's people that's like that now, that all they need to hear is what program I use so they can look it up and start figuring it out, and they going to, you know what I'm saying, have their way out too.
Give me 3 roles, man, that you feel like, if there's more, that's fine, that you feel like you've led your life by and built your brand by, and just some advice for the people at home listening, man. If you could give them 3, if they, you know, people that got a short-term memory, if they can't remember, like, give me a good piece of advice for the creators, whether they be artists or musicians or just directors.
Man, a lot of it applied to, or most of the rules apply to all of it. I would say the first one is never giving up, because, man, there's so many times I wanted to quit. Just knowing if I would have quit, I wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, at the space that I'm at now, because I've been through hard times even while being on with these different platforms. So never giving up. The second one is consistency. You can't do it for a little bit and put it down, because you do that, you could have put it down right before it was your time to blow. You know what I'm saying? So consistency, stay consistent with it even when times is hard. And then just being unique, because there's so many different things on the internet that the people can watch, but what's unique about what you're doing that's making people want to, you know, what's making people attracted to what you're doing, or what's making people want to continuously tune in to what you got going on. So yeah, being unique would be, you know what I'm saying, the third one.
If I'm sorry, if you wanted to make a statement, if you wanted people to remember one thing about your legacy and what you created and what you leave, what would that be?
Man, that's a tough one. It's a song that I heard. I think it was Meek Mill, and he was like, when you die, do you want a documentary or an obituary? And I think about that all the time. So
say it again.
He said, when you die, do you want an obituary or a documentary? And I feel like I'm one of those people who want a documentary. So every single day I wake up, I'm like, man, what can I do to get people to remember what I've done, or to make a big enough impact on somebody, whether that be just sitting down and talking to somebody and just encouraging them. You know what I'm saying? What can I do to leave that impact on the world? And man, that's just really what I get up and think about every day when I get ready to start working. I'm like, how is this going? Like, we get comments where people like, oh, you know, I was depressed and this made me laugh. That means, you know, so much to me, because just me making that person laugh is making an impact on it. They can remember that for the rest of their life. We send videos out where we just sing happy birthday to people. You don't know how, you know what I'm saying, how that can change
what that does for
life,
them,
or what that does for them. So I just try to, you know, make as big an impact as I can.
And then I had just one last question. Like, when we talk about impact, like, I know if you're impacting people outside of the world, you're impacting your mini-me's, right? Yeah. So are they falling in love with that YouTube? Are we gonna see them with a YouTube channel?
Yeah,
and they just skyrocket?
It's coming soon.
Like, okay.
Both of my kids, every time I went to it was the kindergarten graduation for my daughter, they put up the sign and say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And of course, her said, an artist like my daddy. So I get to see them
amazing.
Every day. They're like, when we gonna start our YouTube channel? I'm like, I got y'all. Just give me a second to.
Daddy got work.
Yeah, calm down, and yeah, I got y'all. We gonna go crazy with it.
So if people want to follow you, Brandon, they want to check out your really dope series on YouTube and just get in tune with you on social media and see all the stuff you got going on, how can they find you?
So if you look up Cartoon Connect on Google, it's going to give you all my different social media sites, Instagram, cartoon.connect, Facebook, Cartoon Connect for my series, Lil Ron Ron, my series. If you type in Lil Ron Ron, the animated series on YouTube, that's going to pop up. Cartoon Connect on YouTube. My newest series, Cottonmouth on YouTube. Cotton, MOUF, that's on there too.
Well, that's dope, man.
This is long, okay? And I'm sure all of that stuff, somebody's gonna learn something from it. And like you said, like that's the biggest thing for people to take away from it. So, Brandon Reed.
Hey, thank you.
Cartoon Connect in the building. Man, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, for sharing your journey, and just giving some words of inspiration, man. So you're a true gentleman and a scholar. We wish you 100 million subscribers. Man, just make sure you come back and give us some exclusive, all right?
Most definitely. I'll be back.
All right, man. This your boy Wally, a.k.a. Mr. Music Is My Business.
It's Treasure Nicole.
And we wrapping it up with the homie, Brandon Reed, a.k.a. Mr. Cartoon Connect. Go follow him, man. He got money. You see him, he got the check mark. Just that you know it's him, right?
Yeah, you see that blue check?
That blue check.
It's there. I worked hard for that blue check.
Man, put some respect on his name, man. It's your boy Wally, a.k.a. Mr. Music Is My Business. You're rocking with Urban Grind Radio. Let's go.